Joining me now for more on this, the founder of Social Law Co, Tegan Bullman. Thanks very much for your time. I suppose the first question is, how widespread is this? Because it's such a booming area. There are very famous ones, but also very sort of niche influencers as well. I guess a lot of people start up and maybe don't even know the requirements to disclose things.
Potentially that may be the case. We have seen quite a lot of media coverage over this in the past few years, though, particularly the last year. We've also seen quite a few complaints made to ad standards. Complaints can be made to ad standards in relation to the self-regulatory framework, where people may think that an influencer's failed to disclose that post. So we have seen an increase in that. So whether or not that's associated with an increased awareness or whether or not it's just happening more often is a question to be investigated, I guess.
And in terms of what we're chasing here, it's just what occurs in every other part of the world in terms of advertising, that if someone's saying, hey, there's this amazing product, you should use it, we need to know if they're getting paid.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, we do need to know if they're getting paid. So they need to distinguish that between other content that they might have posted to their social media accounts talking about their everyday life. Influencers regularly post content setting out what they're doing on any given day or products they're using, services that they're engaging with. And the requirements require basically that they are clear and upfront if they are actually receiving a payment in exchange for that. And obviously, if they're making any testimonials in relation to those products or those services, that they are genuinely held by that influencer.
Is there any sort of loophole? I mean, a lot of influencers get or request maybe a discount or just a free hotel room. Does it have to be cash? How sort of broad is the law here?
Absolutely does not have to be cash, can also be unsolicited. So we often see brands post out content to influencers where the influencer may not have requested that. If they do receive something and they do decide to post about it, they do need to be clear that they have received that as a free gift from the brand. So therefore some relationship exists. We have seen a lot of complaints in that context in the last year, specifically around events as well. So influencers attending events where they might have got a free ticket to attend. Those sort of things will need to be clearly distinguishable from the other content that they post where they may not have received anything from the brand in connection with that post.
It's an interesting area. Maybe I'm a bit old. I sort of am surprised that anyone sees an influencer and says, look at this product. They swear it's transformed their skin or they've lost 6 kilograms in 2 weeks. I have to get it. Surely people have their eyes wide open here.
It depends, I guess. Brands use influencers because it converts quite well. It's a very fast-growing industry, and more ad spend is going into influencer marketing. We've seen that year on year, actually, and not just Australia, but throughout the world. Influencers have an ability to reach consumers in a different way that brands do. They speak to them directly, they've built relationships with them, and they need to be clear when they are actually undertaking advertising for a brand that this isn't something that they're recommending because they've received nothing in exchange for that. It is something that they've received a free good, a free service, they've been paid to do it, or a combination of the two. So it's important that they distinguish that from the other content that they're sharing every day, and that consumers are trusting that they are being transparent when they're sharing that. And obviously transparency is great for the brand as well. So it helps sort of build trust in what the influencers are saying, and people can rely on the fact that if an influencer is providing a testimonial about something, then that should be genuine. And that's why they need to make sure they're complying with those laws.
And what about whether they're telling the truth about how much a given product transformed their lives? So whether the weight loss really was down to that slim shake or whatever it is, or their skin really is clearer and brighter with a 1 10-second application, whatever it might be. Is that a bit more of a grey area?
No, not really. So if they are making certain testimonials or allegations in relation to the use of the product and what effect it's had on them, failing to make an accurate testimonial could put them in breach of the Australian consumer law. There are significant penalties, as has already been noted, 2.5 million for an individual, and for brands up to 50 million and beyond, depending on some certain metrics there. So it is really important that this is being considered. And it's not just the brand and the influencer that can be involved in this. Agencies are also exposed most often agencies are engaged on behalf of a brand to help seek out influencers and to contract with them either on the brand's behalf or on the agency's behalf for the benefit of the brand. So they can certainly play an important part in that connection between the influencer and the brand, and therefore part of what the ACCC is looking at, we understand, is their involvement in the transaction. So everybody needs to be across this.
All right, a warning for influencers or those that might be thinking of influencing, but also a warning for those looking on and wondering if those endorsements are real. Tegan Bulman, thanks very much for your time.